And all I'm doing is reading this moment all the time. But I'm not actively reading it either. My state of being, my intuition is what's reading it. It's on autopilot. And if my mind needs to come in and act out and say some stuff and think some stuff and do some stuff, then it will perfectly. The less I use it, the more ready it is, the more potent it is, the more aligned it is. I don't have thousands of thoughts a day, guys. A lot of people do, but I don't. Maybe dozens, maybe hundreds, but not thousands. There's just so much peace and stillness. Where I reside is in the same place that Jesus resided, is in the same place that Buddha resided, is in the same place that all the saints and the prophets resided, in the truth, in the stillness, in the now. And when you start seeing it, man, it fucks you up because you can't not see it anymore. You see it in everything. And it can scare you if you're not ready for it. Jesus is like, in the Gospel of Thomas, he's like, you'll search and you'll seek, and then you'll be troubled, and then you'll be like, oh wow. You'll be troubled from it because it will fuck with you. It's like it's meant to fuck with your mind. It's meant to. It's meant to be like in opposition to the mind almost. And it's your job to figure out how you, instead of bringing it in this opposition energy, you bring it into an aligned energy. But I'm nothing. I am no one. Like Bob Odenkirk, man, I love him. Better Call Saul. It's like one of my favorite shows ever. But like in the movie Nobody, he's like, I'm nobody. You're not gonna know who I am. I blend in with everything. I don't. If I'm like aligned enough, I don't even identify with the name Darius. I don't even I'm just like fucking blissed out consciousness. It's amazing to lose touch with yourself, to be insane, to be deluded. If you think and exist and speak this way and like in modern society, you're fucking crazy because they just can't understand it. They understand slivers of it, man. Some of the stuff they can agree with, but some of the stuff they just can't see it. It's all just like hogwash, nonsense. And then like if you're like really, really scientific and you don't believe and you only believe in the physical, you only believe in what you see, and all of this other stuff is just because you can't see through the layers of what religion is pointing to, because you haven't done the work yourself, because you haven't seen that like what exists inside is reflected in the outside, because you haven't tapped into that. You're in prison. You've trapped yourself. You're in the cave, man. That's like what the story of the hermit is. You're in the cave and you're soul searching, and you're looking at yourself, you're looking at life, you're introspective, and then all of a sudden like I've realized it, and like I step out into the world again, and I have the lantern, and I'm carrying the lantern and spreading that light. And that's all it can be. That's all it can be. Like your job is to get to your enlightenment. Your job is to get to your truth seeing. And then from there you create your life, guys. But if you're creating your life from the tumultuousness and the illusion and the fear and the negativity, then your life is going to look like that all the time. If you're identified with the drama, if you're always seeking drama, if you're always looking for what's happening in the world in terms of what people do and say and blah 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 blah, all that shit's nonsense. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss what something, and then lower minds discuss people. What's the middle one? I don't remember. I think Socrates said it. It doesn't matter. It's just pointing to like where are you placing your focus? Where are you placing your attention? It's important. If I'm always centered, if I'm always like feeling into who I am in every single moment, like it's extreme, guys, to be this way. That you're always centered, that you're always aware of yourself. It's fucking trippy. And like all of the other stuff that you used to like buy into and was like on your mind all the time, it like falls away because you're just like in the moment all the time. It'll come in occasionally to like try and remind you, but you don't really like, you swat it away like a little fly, you know? Or if it needs to be looked at, you're like, oh, thank you for bringing that to my attention, God, spirit, beings, ancestors, guardian angel, spirit guide, whatever. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's a useful thought. Or, oh, that's just nonsense. And it's colored by its energy. And you see the blueprint of its energy very clearly. It like spawns itself out of itself, the negativity, and it spawns itself, its beautiful, truthful self, out of the purity of truth and love. It's magnificent. It really is, to exist this way. Paradise on earth, but just for you. And then you have to see other people that are still lost, that are still suffering. And you're like, hey man, like live this way. You don't, and I'm not telling you have to buy into like, ooh, Darius is this and like Jesus is this and Buddha is this. No. Don't believe in any of that shit. Believe in yourself. Because that is where your power and your magic lies. Learning about yourself. Know thyself. People think that's like it's like some far off thing. Hey, it's just not meant for me. Or it's too hard. I thought that when I was like in my 20s and I was like reading all of this, you know, different spirituality stuff. I'm like, oh man, that's very, very hardcore and extreme. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know what my life would look like if I like really fully devoted myself to it. That's what devotion is. Devoting yourself to the one, to the energy, to consciousness. Devoting yourself to your own self-awareness. And I'm not talking about self like just Darius and his little story. It is the higher, the grand self awareness. Because when you embody this awareness, you are automatically tapping into the everythingness of everything. You are automatically seeing beyond the lines, man, the partitions that we create, the compartmentalization. It's easy for your mind to think of stuff in terms of that, and it needs that. It has to have that. It's the only way it can be. But you can exist outside of that while using the fractions of the mind when it's needed, and it's so much more potent and efficient when you do it that way. All of these mental illnesses and these physical illnesses is because of the human mind is out of control. And the negativity, and then you're just like always like, and you're stressed, and you're just like, I mean, we've explored this through science, guys. We know that stress kills us, that it leads to like heart attacks, and it leads to like, you know, brain issues and whatever else, digestive issues. We know this stuff, guys. But science doesn't know how to get outside of the mind. Even psychology doesn't know it. All it's analyzing is the mind is analyzing the mind in terms of itself. It's like fractioning itself to identify itself in terms of itself. It's like, how can you do that? You're never going to reach the core truth of what the overall overmind of God is by looking at the mind through its fractal self. The slice of the pie can't understand the pie. And so you're going to tell me that like, oh, I only believe in what I see physically. And the only thing that exists is science now, guys, because hey, we've progressed so much, but have we really? Have we really progressed as much as we think we've progressed? Sure, we're all living longer, but there's still hella disease out there, isn't it? People are still dying. There's still war and famine and disease, isn't there? We're so advanced. You will tell a civilization's advancement based on how much peace and love and joy is spread and how much freedom there truly is. And the less attached they are to any dogma and any law. And laws are useful, guys, okay? Come on, we need them. I'm not saying break laws and like, you're so far outside of law and no. Laws are needed because there's always gonna be some bad seeds. There's always gonna be some people that are unaware. The whole point of this exercise is to reach the tipping point where most of civilization is enlightened, and now there's only a few of the ones that aren't as enlightened. And because there's like a tipping point in energy, the people that are awake can help much easier the people that are not awake. Now we exist in a place where it's like the 1% is awake and the 99% is still asleep. And it's much more difficult to create movement towards the peace. But it'll happen. It's destined. Whether it happens 10 years from now or 100 years from now or 1,000 years from now, it's going to happen. That's the prophecy. That's the Jesus timeline. That's the Zoroastrian timeline. That's the Judeo-Jewish timeline. That's the Hinduistic Kalki Vishnu timeline. That's the apocalyptic timeline. It's unavoidable. You are living it, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not. And here's another thing. You may be atheist, you may be agnostic. God doesn't give a fuck what you are. This is the best part. He allows you in your atheism. He wants to know what it's like to be atheistic. And it's not like, oh, you like you have to be atheist and then you eventually have to become a believer of God. And like if you're an atheist and then you die, you go to hell or some bullshit. No. You can be atheist all you want. You don't have to believe in shit, man. All I ask is you believe in yourself. You know, and then like the atheist is going to be like, well, yeah, I do believe in myself. I believe in science and the physical. And it's like, no, like you can still tap into your higher self, your intuitive self, while being atheistic. But because you jumble it all together, all the religion and all the mythology and all the nonsense with it, then that if you tap into your feelings and your emotions and you're truly present, and you can even be scientific about the spirituality, guys. That's why Buddhism is very popular with atheists. Because you can make meditation into a science. You can observe it. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of scientific like outcomes and studies of what meditation does and its positive effects. There's some on prayer too. Like we can observe these things. We just don't know the why or the how behind it. I mean, the aware ones do, but science will never tap into the intuition. It'll never tap into the intention. It'll never tap into the state of being that something is. It can't, because it's too etheric. It's too light. It's too astral. It's not concrete. It's not as observable as this three-dimensional physical world that we live in. You can't scientific method your way into beingness. You can't. The scientific method exists in the mind, and beingness exists outside of the mind. And it's very difficult for someone that's very rooted in the mind to see outside of the mind. It only comes in glimpses and in little brief moments. And sometimes you can't identify that brief moment and expand on it and say that was truth, because you're too convinced that all the other nonsense is the truth. And that one little snapshot that you got that truly was the truth, you're like, I don't know if I buy into it, because the other 99% of my reality is so much nonsense. Then how can it be nonsense? How can it not be nonsense? Like, if the majority of my life is nothing but suffering and shit, then I'm going to logically believe that life is nothing but suffering and shit. And yes, it is that way, because it is that way. I mean, like, it exists that way. Everyone's out there suffering. How can I deny that everyone is suffering? It's happening. But there is a way through it. That's what they mean by salvation, guys. That's what they mean. You save yourself, man. You don't have to go through shit anymore. Your state of being is what accounts for how much shit you go through. You know, it's like, how much longer are you going to put yourself in the suffering position, seeking yourself in the outside world? That's all it is. Keep rooted in yourself. Keep rooted in the God energy, the Christ consciousness, the whatever the fuck you want to label it, okay? Because it can't be labeled. Keep yourself rooted in it. And then life plays out perfectly for you. There's no way around it.